Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to talk about heating tips for the wintertime for your greenhouse. I do a video like this every couple years or so, but here's my bubble wrapped front wall of the greenhouse. This is my south facing wall, and this leads to my warmest side of the greenhouse as well, where all the heat is. So I want to keep my heat trapped in there as much as I possibly can. And the last couple of years, I've actually only been putting bubble wrap on the outside of the greenhouse, not the inside. So it makes it a lot quicker. I was able to put these up in like 10 minutes. I keep these sheets from year to year, and they're the exact fit. So I even have them labeled. You can see front wall up. So it gives me just a little code sort of as to what that means and to where it's gonna go. And yeah, I've actually got 2 layers of bubble wrap on the outside, and it still lets light in. There's not much light this time of year anyways, but it lets some light in. But man, it probably keeps it 6 or 7 degrees Celsius warmer in there easily. The heat can just like turn off, and it doesn't just escape through the walls. The roof has also got the same bubble wrap on it. And yeah, I keep them in big sheets now. And what I used to have it on the inside, and then I went inside and outside, and then I just went to the outside because the inside was really hard to do, because you got to put little strips down each 2-foot section, and it was really time consuming, and the strips got full of algae because there was moisture between them. So outside I put this up in like 10 minutes, and I use box tape. So I have found there's 2 different kinds of box tape. One kind works very well. I use a Staples brand here, the Staples Business Depot brand, and it works. The Scotch brand is crap and doesn't work, and it actually just pulls right off. If I see any Scotch brand from previous years, I'll show you the difference. But yeah, so this just comes up in 1 sheet, and it's actually to the point where I've got it so it even wraps around to here. And so that's the warm side of the greenhouse, and then my door is still there. The roof is all bubble wrapped up there, and it really helps. So this front side is all wrapped up. I need to do a little bit of fine tuning. We want no air to get in here, so I want to tape it a little bit better. But at the time it was good enough just to get it sort of tacked up, but we want to make it so there's no air leaks in there. And this bubble wrap really helps. You can instantly feel the difference on the inside once you have this up. Now the thing is, the cold side, which the heat just kind of bleeds over through the wall there on the inside, and the cold side of the greenhouse in the past couple of years has actually stayed a little warm for my liking. So I'm not in any big hurry to bubble wrap the back side yet. Let in some extra light, and if it gets a little cooler, that's okay back there because the plants don't mind that. So yeah, I'll give you a Mr. Heater update too. It has been working awesome. The propane tank is down there. Now I actually was away. You guys didn't even know I was away. And I had this guy just with a pilot light running for the days I was gone. I was gone for like 10 days. And it was just in case the power went out, because I heat this with electric heat. And I can heat this whole thing with a 1200 watt heater when it's properly bubble wrapped and insulated. On a really cold night, I have a backup, and I have another heater on low. So sometimes I'll add another 750 watts to that if it needs it. But heating usually costs me about $1 a day for a 24-hour period in the wintertime. So anyways, but what if I'm away and the power goes out? Or what if there's just a storm and the power goes out? So that was my biggest problem. I would always have to go into their basement and pull out the generator. So now we will go in and look at the Mr. Heater. Okay, so hopefully it's not too loud in here. I didn't turn off any fans. And yeah, my regular heater is down here. It's got the 2 fans in front of it, and it's just like one of those electric fireplaces, and it works really well. It's not on right now because it doesn't need to be, because it's well insulated in here. But this was the one I was leaving the pilot light on as a test to see how long it would like burn through the propane. And a 20-pound tank lasts about 3 weeks with just a pilot light. These guys are super easy to light, maybe not with one hand, but you turn it to pilot, you push it down, and there we go. You can see it lit there. You should be able to remove your hand. So if the pilot light is still on, I can turn it to the low setting, or on if I want to. But I was leaving it just at the 1 while I was away. And so 1 translates into about 65 Fahrenheit or about 16, 17 Celsius, which is a little cooler than I keep it, but that's perfect because then it didn't come on the whole time I was gone. It was just on just in case of a power outage. So now that I'm back, I don't even keep the pilot light on. I just have this on ready to go in case of a power outage, and it's going to come out of here when the winter is over. I've calculated out the usage of this, and if I was to use this instead of electricity, it would cost me about twice the amount. It would cost me about $2 a day to heat the greenhouse instead of $1 a day. So I don't want to do that. I want to leave it with my electric heat if possible. But yeah, when it's on, oh, it's nice. It's going to be nice just to be able to turn this on, which I just turned it on. These are just my little splash guard cups just in case. So it works so well in here. It heats it up so well. If I'm ever working in here, I can just quickly turn this on a cold winter day, and it's going to warm it up even more, even faster, because my electric heat keeps it where it needs to be, but I can't push it to like 80 Fahrenheit if I wanted to on a cold winter day. With this, I could if I'm working in here or whatever. It just heats up so quickly. So yeah, I will give this a 2 thumbs up. I know I just released a video with this in, kind of debuting it, that I even had it, but that video was actually filmed a few weeks prior to releasing it. And so I've had about a month to play with this now. And for a backup heater, I'm just absolutely loving it. I wish it wasn't quite so big. I had to get the next model up because it had the thermostat. The thermostat was key to keeping it set to a low temperature for when I was away. So yeah, now when I'm away, I have this awesome backup. When the power goes out, I can just come in here and turn on the awesome backup. If I sense a storm is coming and we might lose power, I could just turn on the pilot light for the night, and then it will come on if I'm sleeping or whatever and the power goes out. This would come on and I wouldn't even know the power had gone out. With that said, I do have a sensor in here that if the power goes out at night, an alarm beeps by my head of the bed. So if it gets too cold in here at night, I know that I have an alarm by my bedside so that it wakes me up. Just because if the power went out and you were sleeping, you could lose a lot of plants if you weren't careful on a cold winter night. So, and again, I touched base with, I wasn't a big fan of the gas, the propane heat in any way in here because it is inside, excuse me, and I'm used to direct vent. So there's a side effect too. The fogger comes on when it gets a little warm. So I'm used to a direct vent. I'm going to turn this off. There we go. Turn that back off. And so it is safe. I have tested it, and you know, nothing. It has an oxygen sensor, so if it gets low on oxygen, it would shut off. It has a tip over sensor, so if it tipped over, it would shut off. It's relatively safe, and this place isn't airtight. Now we gotta wait for this fogger to go. When the temperature rises too fast, it lowers the humidity because there's only X amount of moisture in the air. So I raise the temperature in here by 5 or 6 Celsius, like 10, 15 Fahrenheit, in the time we've been talking in here. And so it's got to put more moisture in the air to maintain the humidity at the new temperature, because the warmer the air, the more moisture it can hold. There's just a little random lesson for you. So that's why the humidity is all of a sudden like kicked on like crazy. But yeah, so I use my electric heat, my 1200 watt heat. Let's go back outside. So yeah, I use my electric heat, and as a backup, and I now have the propane heat, which is again just a backup. This side of the greenhouse, I have a dehumidifier in here running this time of year, and it's actually running right now. Might be a little bit loud. Dehumidifiers are another wonderful way to save on some energy. So you might think, why do I want a dehumidifier in a greenhouse? Well, because in the wintertime, it's 100% humidity outside. Let me just turn off this fan. It's probably playing with the mic. It's 100% humidity outside, so that means it would always be 100% humidity in here, which this allows me to control the humidity a little bit. And at the same time, it pumps out hot air. So this is a 750 watt unit, and when you do the math with the way they work, heat is generated with the act of taking moisture out of the air and condensing it down and out the tube, and it actually produces more heat than wattage used. So it's actually a really cheap way or a really efficient way to heat your home or a greenhouse. The only trouble with it is it needs high humidity in order to maintain this heat coming out. So if you were doing that in your home to heat, your home is so much drier than out here, you would take the moisture out of the air and then we wouldn't be having that reaction going on of taking moisture out of the air, so you'd still be running it with the 750 watts of energy, but it wouldn't be nearly as efficient. So out here in the greenhouse, this dehumidifier works really well to heat the back end of the greenhouse, and like I say, it doesn't need to be that warm. So I'm not worried about hot heat coming out, but it's nice warm air blowing out of here for sure. And at the same time, I have the benefits of dehumidifying for the winter time. I know that seems crazy, but yeah. On this side, the humidifier is not even going to be running because it's always so humid back here. But there we go. So there is 3 ways that I heat my greenhouse. I bubble wrap it, I insulate it, I seal all the vents above my head with the bubble wrap. I use an electric heater. I have my propane backup heater now. Yay. And I have this dehumidifier that I run out this side. So anyways, there's a few tips on how I heat my greenhouse for the winter, and like I say, I can do it all for about $1 a day. And it's not a small greenhouse, it's not huge, but it's not small. And yeah, the big key to doing it all is making sure it's well insulated so you don't just lose the heat. So anyways, I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching.